Hi students, in Web and Internet Technology subject already we completed 4 units. Next unit name is AJAX. Here what is meant by AJAX? AJAX stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Already we know about JavaScript and XML. In AJAX is a technique, it allows web pages to be uploaded asynchronously. Here asynchronously means the script will send a request to the server and continue its execution without waiting for the reply. That is called asynchronous. Here AJAX passes only the updated information to and from the server. Next point, AJAX cannot work independently. It is used in combination with other technologies like JavaScript, DOM, XML, HTML, CSS, etc. Means why is AJAX means to create interactive web pages. Here next, AJAX allows to send and receive data asynchronously without reloading the web page. That's why it is fast. AJAX allows to send only important information to the server, not the entire page. Here AJAX is not a programming language. Next, it is use of the XML HTTP request object. Means why it is use XML HTTP request object to communicate with servers. That's why we use of the XML HTTP request. Here HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. Next point, it can send and receive information in various formats including JSON, JSON, next XML, next HTML and text files. Already we learn XML and HTML formats. Here what is about JSON? Means JavaScript object notation. Here JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. It is a text-based data exchange format for structuring data. It is mainly used to exchange data between a server and web application, and it is a alternate to XML for organizing data. Next point, AJAX is a web browser technology independent of web server software. Next, a user can continue to use this application to client program request information from the server in the background. That's why we use the XML HTTP request object. Next, what are the examples of AJAX that make use of AJAX? Means here some of the famous web applications here. First example is Google Maps. Here the user can drag an entire map by using a mouse, then clicking on a mouse. Here this is the example, maps.google.com. Next example is Google Suggest. Next example is Gmail. Next example is Yahoo Maps. Means it is easier to more to fun to get what we are going there. Yahoo Maps. Here Gmail is webmail. And that memo, it is more efficient and useful. These are the AJAX examples for AJAX. Next topic is AJAX client server architecture. Here in client server architecture, how to browser means an event occurs. In that event occurs, you have to create a XML HTTP request object, send to the HTTP request to internet to the server. Means you have to process. First you have to create the XML request object. After that you have to send the HTTP request through internet to the server. Means here process, this is the process for HTTP request. After that you have to create a response and send data back to the browser through internet only. Here process the written data using JavaScript. After that you have to update page content. This is the client server architecture. You have the browser is client. Client sends the information to the server. In the server you have to do some process. After the return you have to give the response to the client through internet. This is the AJAX Works. How AJAX works? Here an event occurs in a web page. The page is loaded, a button is clicked. Next, XML HTTP request object is created by JavaScript. After that, to send the request to web server. After that, server process the request. Next, server sends a response back to the web page. Next, response is ready by JavaScript. Next, last, the proper action means you have to update that page performed by the JavaScript. Next, what are the steps of AJAX operation? Here, the client event occurs. After the you have to create the XML HTTP request object. Next, HTTP request is responded. Next, the HTTP request object makes an asynchronous. Here, asynchronous request to the web server. Here, already you know about asynchronous. Here, asynchronous means that the script will send a request to server, continue its execution without waiting for the reply. That is called the asynchronous. Next point, the web server returns the result containing XML document. Next, the XML HTTP request object calls the callback function and process the result. Next, the HTML DOM is updated. Document object model is updated in HTML. Next, what are the XML HTTP request object callback methods? Here, first point is all modern browsers support the XML HTTP request object. Here, modern browsers means IE5, IE6, Opera, that are the modern browsers here. Example, IE5, IE6 means Internet Explorer 5, Internet Explorer 6, Opera. That are the browsers support the XML HTTP request object. Here, this object can be used to exchange the data with a server. This means it is possible to update parts of web page without reloading a whole page. Why it is without reloading web page means it is asynchronous. That's why it is possible to update. How to update the information of web pages. Next, how to create an XML HTTP request object. Here, all modern browsers. Here, you see Chrome, Firefox, IE7, Edge, Safari, Opera. These are the modern browsers. How to build in XML HTTP request. This is the syntax for XML HTTP request object. Here variable equal to new XML HTTP request. This is the syntax for creating XML HTTP request object. Next, what is the example? Here var. Variable means var. Here give x HTTP equal to new XML HTTP request. Next, this is the example shows. This is the example how we create a HTTP object request. Here this is the example doc type HTML body div id equal demonstrate. Here heading h1 means heading. The XML HTTP request object h1 is closed. Button type button on click means you have to load the document. Here you have to change the content. Here script function load object. Here the variable. Here create an XML HTTP request. This is the creation of XML HTTP request object. Here create, how to create here, where XHTTP equal to new XML HTTP request. Here XHTTP dot on ready state change equal to function. If this ready state equal to 4 and this dot status equal to 100. Document dot get element by ID demo inner HTML. This is the response. How to give the how to create the XML HTTP object request. After that, how to give the request to the server. After the in the server, give the response through the internet. This is the example for XML HTTP request object. How we create this? This is the example. This is the creation of XML HTTP request object. Next slide. In that, next topic is XML HTTP request object methods. XML HTTP request object methods. These are the XML HTTP request object methods. First method is new XML HTTP request. This is the how creates a new XML HTTP request object. Next method is abort. Here cancels the current request. Then in that, how we cancel the current request, we are using this method, abort method. Next, header information, how we return the header information. This method will be used here, get all response headers. Next, get response header means how to return the specific header information. On that time we get the response header method. Next open. In that open method, URL async user password. Here you have to specify the request here. Here this method, the request type get or post. Already we know about get or post methods. Here URL means uniform resource locator, the file location. Next async means true. In that true async, true means asynchronous, false means synchronous. Next optional, user means optional username, password optional password. Next send method sends the request to the server, use the get request, get method. Next send the string, how to send the string, how to send the request to server, how to use it for the post request method. Next last one, how to set request header, adds a label or value pair to the header to the send means label value pair means this is the attribute here. What is the method here? Set request header. Next how we send a request to the server. Here it is used to exchange the data with a server. These are the methods to use to send a request to the server. Means what are the methods means here? Open and send methods. Open and send methods here. Here xhttp dot open get method, you have to true, asynchronous true means true here, asynchronous through asynchronous only. Next xhttp dot send method. Next, what are the methods you have to follow send a request to the server? These are the methods you have to follow here. First open method. Open method. In that open method, URL async, it specifies the type of request. Method URL async. Method, the type of request get or post. URL, the server file location. Async means true, means asynchronous or false. Send, you have to send the request to server used for get information. Send, you have to string, you have to send the string means you have to send the request to the server used for post here. Next, these are the XML HTTP request object properties. These are first one, on ready state change. On ready state change. Here it defines a Here it defines a function to be called when the ReadyState property changes. On the time we use onReadyState change. Next property is ReadyState. In this ReadyState, have to hold the status of the XML HTTP request. We give 0 status, request not initialized. 1, we give 1 status 1, server connection established. Next 2, request received. 3, processing request. Next 4, request finished and response is ready. Next one is response text. Here next property is response text. Here you have to return the response date as a string. Next response XML returns the response data on XML data. Here what is the status property? Here you have to return the status number of a request. How to give 200, we give OK. 403 forbidden. 404 not found. For a complete list go to the status here. Next status text returns the status text example OK or not found. These are the XML HTTP object properties. Next one AJAX server response. Here first property the onReadyState exchange property. What is the meaning onReadyState exchange property? It defines a function to be called when ReadyState property changes. How to change the property on the time we use onReadyState change property. Next one ReadyState. Here ReadyState property it holds the status of the XML HTTP request. Next onReadyState change property defines the function to be executed when the ReadyState changes. Next one the status property and the status text property have to hold the status of the XML HTTP request object. Means here HTTP request objects. Here status we give the number of a request means we give 200. We give the status number 200. Okay. We give the 403 number forbidden. Have to 404 not found. Have to list go for a complete list go to the some website here. Some give I gave website is w3schools.com here. Next this is the next is the onReadyState change function. It is called every time the ReadyState changes. We give onReadyState state change. On the time we give the every time the ReadyState changes. Here when ReadyState is 4, the status is 200. The response is ready. We are giving some properties. We are giving some descriptions here. onReadyState change. Already we know about defines a function to be called when the ReadyState property changes. Here ReadyState have to hold the some status of the XML HTTP request means 0 means request not initialized. Server connection established. Request received. Processing request. Request finished and response is ready. Here status 200 means OK. 403 means forbidden. 404 page not found. Here status text returns the status text OK or not found. Next here note it is every time the ReadyState changes. Next this is the how the example shows in XML HTTP request. This is the example I gave here. Doc type HTML body equal to XML HTTP. Here load, you have to load the document. I gave here this dot ReadyState equal to 4, status equal to 200 means OK. 200 means here the status give the 200 is OK. how to give the document or get element. I demonstrate the inner HTML, this dot response text. This is the output for the XML HTTP request object. How to change the content here. This is the example. This is the output for the above example. Next, next, next topic is using a callback function. Here, the callback function is a function passed as a parameter to another function. A callback function is a function passed as a parameter to another function. That is called a callback function here. Here we should create one function for executing the XML HTTP request object and one callback function for each AJAX task. The function call should contain the URL and what function to call when the response is ready. Is the use of the callback function here. Next, here example is callback function. This is the example for callback function. Here doc type HTML body div id equal to, here we give load document AJAX info.txt. In that AJAX info.txt, this is the file name. In that we have some content here, button closed. Next script URL comma C function, call function here. How to create here XHTTP new XML HTTP request is a create a HTTP request. After that we have to change the content here. That's why we are using here, and this dot ReadyState equal to 4 and this dot status equal to 200. Next here we give get request. Here get means we want to send information with the get method. Have to add the information to the URL. On that time we give the get request. Next, what is the use of the post request means here the to post it like HTML form, add on HTML header with the send request header. Have to specify the data you want to send in the send method. That time we'll use post request. Here we give some information through URL. That's why we are using the get method here. In a doc type HTML body div id equal demo h1 means header, the XML HTTP request object, button type on click load doc, give some information AJAX info.txt. Change, how to change the content here. URL C function means call function here. This is the example for the callback function. We give the status, this dot status equal to 200. 200 means okay. This keyword, this function. This is the example for the callback function. Get element by id demo inner HTML equal to xhttp dot response text. This is the example for XML HTTP request object. Give the change content. How to click the change content, we get some information here. In that I don't have the AJAX info text. In that, is there any information in that? How to change the content button is clicked. Next, these are the server response methods. These are the properties. Response text, get the response data as a string, and response XML, get the response data as XML data. Next, these are the methods. Get response header method, it returns the specific header information from the server resource. Next, get all response headers, means returns all the header information from the server resource. These are the server response methods. Thank you.